The best camera I own isn't actually the one with the best specs, it's the one I take with me everywhere, and that's the Fujifilm X100VI. The first day I took this camera out, I honestly wasn't sure. I think I even told someone I'm thinking about returning it. I thought it was more of a toy camera. I had some issues with the autofocus, and I just wasn't sure about the performance. But fast forward a year later, it's one of my favorite cameras of all time. The issue with some of my larger cameras is I'm always processing whether I should take my camera out of the bag and actually take the shot. And every time I see something interesting, there's a pause. I'm asking myself, is this worth it? Is it worth taking my camera out of the bag for? And oftentimes I hesitate and the moment's already gone. The Fujifilm X100VI isn't exactly a pocketable camera. You can see here, it's definitely not pocketable. I don't think it's fitting in anyone's pocket, but it does fit nicely around my neck and it doesn't hurt after a long day. And it's quite comfy. And that means I'm always ready for a shot. It takes me 2 seconds to turn on and then I'm ready. And that matters especially for street and travel photography. It's a fixed 35mm full frame equivalent. That can be limiting at times. And I won't lie, there are moments where I wish I could zoom in more and so on, and that limitation forced me to shift my creative process. I have to move closer, I have to change my angle. I feel like I'm more present, I'm documenting, I'm reacting. And that's where some of my favorite images come from. Another one of the big reasons why I love this camera is that everything's built in. You have the built-in flash, you have the built-in ND filter, and it's super easy. I don't have to think when I, take this camera. I don't have to bring any extra gear or bring any extra accessories. I know that I can count on it and it has everything I need, and that matters a lot. Using the Fujifilm X100VI doesn't feel like work. It feels fun to shoot with the tactile dials and compact size. And yes, the Fujifilm recipes are really that fun. I love experimenting with the different recipes, making my own recipes in Fujifilm X Raw Studio. As a travel photographer, this saves me a lot of time. Now let's talk about what I don't love about this camera. And of course, that's the autofocus. Compared to Sony, where the autofocus is tack sharp, it's always going to catch your subject. This camera, it leaves a bit to be desired. Sometimes it fails to catch focus, and it can be a bit frustrating at times. And I feel like whenever I pass this camera to a friend or a family member of mine, they always struggle with something, whether it be catching focus, whether it be with the flash or something. Now, I've heard some concerns about the battery life, and honestly, I think the battery life is pretty okay, especially for something this size. I went to Disney World with it, went to Clearwater Beach, and it held up just fine. I think it was at like 10% at the end of the day, but if you're going to be using the camera a lot or for like a full day, then you might want to get a spare battery just in case. And then also, I've had some issues with the flash not going off properly. I haven't heard many other people having the same issue, so it might just be a me problem. But overall, this is not a perfect camera. What keeps me coming back is the shooting experience, and also the workflow and ecosystem. I love using this camera with X Raw Studio, testing out all the different recipes. The colors from this camera are so beautiful straight out of camera, and the workflow, especially for travel, is so much easier. Because whether we like it or not, social media is kind of part of the job, and so the beautiful JPEGs straight out of camera really do help with speeding up the workflow. I don't have to spend a bunch of hours editing in my hotel room while I'm traveling, and I feel comfortable sending the JPEG images to my friends and family so that they can post. And I can spend more time shooting and exploring these different places instead of in my hotel room, and then when I get home, I can spend the time to edit the raw photos exactly how I'd like. There are a lot of amazing cameras out there, including a lot of newer Fujifilm models, which I'm sure are all amazing, but the reason I keep going back to this camera, not only is it easy to carry, but it also inspires me. And a camera you take with you everywhere will always be a camera that stays at home.